not just a dream. It's Blu-ray.
And it works. Let's mute all that and let me show you just how much noise this drive is making while it's playing a Blu-ray. Yeah, I don't hear anything either. No spin-up noise, no whirring, no nothing, not even with a full-size Blu-ray spinning. I might switch out my other drives with Plexers with how well this one runs. Hardware works perfectly. The software, on the other hand, was a completely different monster altogether. Well, I didn't think it would take this long, and this section of the whole discussion is probably going to be a vlog unto itself, but I finally got everything working after a day. It's alive! Yeah, the monster, the Frankenstein monster that is my AV setup is now just a little bit bigger and now can support Blu-ray. Just got done watching The Rock on Blu-ray and checking out the format and all the bells and whistles that this stuff has. I got some more movies en route because Amazon, of course, has that sale where they're selling Blu-rays. They're about the same cost as DVDs during their heyday, so $20 max on a blockbuster title. That's an awesome deal. As far as adoption goes, I'm not going to buy a lot of Blu-rays right off the bat. I'm actually going to wait until either sales like this happen or the prices drop to the point where everything caps out at $20 a movie, just like during the heydays of DVD. And of course, by then, whatever DVDs are out there will probably be so cheap that they'll either be bundled with Blu-rays, like in case you have to watch on an old laptop or something, like those little tiny laptops with the 8-inch screens that are $300, or like I've constantly referred to them, dollar store video discs, because I'm sure that as the cost of this media drops, the cost of DVD is going to drop even more, to the point where it is pretty much a dollar store format. But we'll talk about that if it ever happens. In the meantime, basically what happened was it took an entire day for me to get everything working. The drive worked right off the bat, worked beautifully. It was the software where I had all the problems. Now, the Plexter drive came with a a bundled copy of Cyberlink's Power DVD version 8. It's one of those crippled bundleware versions that only does stereo sound, and they disable about half the features to make you want to buy the full version, but it'll still play movies. So, if you've got a computer with a stereo sound setup, you don't miss too much as far as just watching Blu-rays goes. And if you want a full setup with surround sound and everything, you gotta get the full version of the program. That's the way those things work usually. But what happened was, I went to go use this program and it wouldn't work. It wouldn't even play regular DVDs. It would just freeze. It wouldn't play anything. It was horrible. It wouldn't play. It thought that Blu-ray was an unrecognized or unsupported format in a Blu-ray drive. Ridiculous. I mean, Windows had no trouble with Blu-rays. You popped in a Blu-ray, bam, there it was in the My Computer window. In XP, nonetheless. There it was in the My Computer window. You can even browse the directories and look at all the files, much like you can if you insert a DVD. So it was definitely not Windows that was the problem. It was the software. So I was thinking, you know what? I went online. I looked up I went and I looked up actual feature sheets on what was what with the various versions of Power DVD, and found out that the bundleware version I have, on that version, Blu-ray support is actually an optional feature. So I was like, wait a minute, what if they messed up and this drive actually comes with a version of Power DVD that can't play Blu-rays? So I went and I decided, let's try the newest version, Cyberlink Power DVD 9 Ultra. So I paid for the upgrade, $72 for the whole 9 yards with the extra downloads and stuff like that. Went and set it up, and same result. It wouldn't even play regular DVDs. This is Power DVD 9 Ultra on my system, wouldn't play anything. And not only would it not play anything, and it certainly wouldn't play Blu-ray, saying they were an unsupported format, not only would it not play anything, but I could make the program crash on demand by, get this, going to the control panel and trying to click the video tab to adjust the video playback settings. It would cause a double crash. First Power DVD would crash, then Dr. Watson would crash trying to analyze Power DVD's crash. So one of those obnoxious Windows double crashes, if you will. I've run into them from time to time. Usually it's a surefire sign that a program sucks. So I signed a letter of destruction and absolutely obliterated that, and I'll be able to get a refund for that software now. You know, they make you sign a little thing saying, oh, if you continue using this, it's copyright infringement, blah, blah, blah. It's within 30 days, so I went to check out competing products after sending a nasty gram to their help desk, but I went back and closed the ticket afterwards because I thought, they could, tell me send DXDAG info or something, like we're troubleshooting a game that wouldn't work, but when I started looking at competing products, and I was like, okay, let's do the Cyberlink Techie versus the competing products. If I find something that works, I'll close the ticket, get the refund, etc. That's what happened. So I tried WinDVD, another big, I wouldn't say big name, but a name that I know very well in terms of DVD playback software. And as it turns out, I guess WinDVD has really gone to the dogs in the last couple of years. So I went to these forums, and then people said, hey, I got WinDVD, it won't play a Blu-ray. And they're like, please, seriously, consider getting a different program. And I was like, what? How did WinDVD stagnate so much? I mean, it was all over the place years and years ago, when DVD was going on to computers. I had some people in college that had DVD-ROM drives show off the movie playing capabilities of their computers with a bundleware version of WinDVD way back when. And I guess they got slow with updates. They've gotten slow with some of the features unique to Blu-ray, such as the improvements in the format, stuff like that. I mean, I heard that Blu-ray discs are kind of like certain Wii games where you need a system update in order to run the Wii game, and likewise you need an update to a software player to play the disc. So I don't know, I'll figure that out whenever that happens. But WinDVD didn't crash, but it still wouldn't play anything. I could play DVDs, it could upscale the DVDs, and even had this little thing where you could increase the frame rate of your videos and make it look almost like it's either CG or a non-cinematic film with the increase in the frame rate you get. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool and whatnot, but it wouldn't play Blu-ray. So I was like, I'll just dump the trial version off, and I'll see if there's something else. So I went poking around in some forums, and one very popular program among people that couldn't get either WinDVD or PowerDVD to work was Arcsoft's Total Media Theater or something like that. I still haven't memorized the name of it. That's how new the program is to me. Downloaded the trial of that Arcsoft program, fired it up, bam, played on the first try. Versus all the nonsense and wasting an entire evening last night trying to get PowerDVD to work. All I have to say to this is, wow, how the mighty have fallen. I mean, WinDVD, dropping the disc here. WinDVD and PowerDVD used to be, the big, you'd always run into these programs. There was a time when you couldn't buy a video card or an optical drive without having a bundleware version of that in there to play DVDs with. I mean, it's crazy. Of course, for DVDs nowadays, I use Media Player Classic for standard def because I found open source software actually works better than commercial stuff. I'm glad to see that I was onto something when PowerDVD wouldn't work right on my system. So, what can I say? Anywho, I downloaded the program, saw it fire up the rock, and I was like, okay, let's go. Put in some other discs as well, checked out demo stuff, got my first taste of BD Java, playing around in the video game style movie menus that Blu-rays have. So more on that later, of course, as I get more accustomed to the format. But it was pretty interesting though that these two names in DVD software that I was very familiar with all throughout college and even to today, are kind of stagnated over the years, and now this totally different, company I'd hardly even heard of, program I'd never even heard of, was better at playing Blu-rays. So, anyways, it's been a pretty interesting ride getting this Hackjob Blu-ray setup working, but it works now. And when these movies start to drop in price or bargain bins for Blu-rays start showing up, then I'll start getting more of them. But I don't anticipate that happening anytime soon outside of me, buying from an online sale or something, because Blu-ray adoption around here is kind of sluggish. When you go to a store, you'll often find that for every one shelf of Blu-rays, there's 3 shelves of DVDs still. So, I mean, there's not much wrong with DVD to begin with. Just, lower resolution, even with upscaling. I mean, and it's just an older format with not as many toys on each disc. But, it was pretty fun. Since I have the TV for it, I figured why not, and I found a way to get everything working. So, bada bing, Operation Hackjob Blu-ray is a smashing success. And now for the remainder of the night, I think I'm just going to go see what kind of upscaling toys that TMT program I downloaded can do with my old DVDs. So folks, until next time, this is MultimediaJay reminding you, hey, it's possible to get stuff working in this day and age. Until next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for watching this, I guess, mini-series by now, and thanks for stopping by.